This is your lecture number 2 on digital electronics. In the last class, we have briefly discussed about what is a signal, then we define what is analog signal, then discrete time signal, and finally we discuss about digital signal. So finally, what is a digital signal? In a digital signal, we discretize both magnitude as well as time axis. Discretize means we divide the magnitude axis in a finite levels, and as well as the time axis consists of finite levels. So for example, so we measure a temperature, that is value is so suppose we measure the temperature of this room at different instant, and the value we got that 35.9 degree Celsius, 23.7 degree Celsius, 31.5 degree Celsius and 20.5 degree Celsius respectively. Then this analog signal we want to convert it into digital signal, and I am here considering the magnitude axis. I divide it in on 4 levels, as well as your time axis also 4 levels. So at T1 instant the temperature is 35.9 degree Celsius. So if the temperature is 35.9 degree Celsius, that is in between, that lies between the levels 30 and 40. Obviously 35.9 degree Celsius is closer to 40 degree Celsius, hence we will round up that to 40. Similarly 23.7 degree Celsius, that is lies between 20 and 30, and which is more 23.7 degree Celsius is closer to 20, hence we will round up it into 20 degree Celsius. Then we have 31.5 degree Celsius. Then we have 20.5 degree Celsius. Again. So observe here that after the conversion of analog signal into digital signal, what happened? So at T1 instant the temperature is, now after the conversion into digital signal the temperature is 40 degree Celsius. Then at T2 the temperature is 20. At T3 the temperature is 30 degree Celsius, and at T4 the temperature is again 20 degree Celsius. So from this we can see that there is a error. In this case the error is 40 minus 35.9 degree Celsius. Then how to minimize this error so that we can exactly recover our analog signal? So for that case we need to increase the number of labels. In a practical scenario, for example, you want to download a movie of 1 hour duration. Suppose you download that 1 hour duration movie having resolution 720 pixel. So obviously we have seen that with this quality 720 pixel, it needed around 1 GB of data. Similarly, if I reduce the resolution to 480 pixel, it will take it will be downloaded with 500 MB. So here 1 gigabyte, 500 MB stands for 500 megabytes. 1 byte is equal to 8 bits. So in which, because the duration of the movie is same, but the video quality and the audio quality will be better in this case. Why? Because here the number of labels is greater as compared to in this case 480 pixel. Then what is the relationship between number of labels and number of bits? That is L, that stands for number of labels, voltage labels, and which is related as L is equal to 2 to the power n. L is equal to 2 to the power n, where n is number of bits and L is the number of voltage labels. So obviously the error arises here is known as quantization error. So in order to reduce that quantization error, we have to increase the number of labels. With that, we can easily recover our analog signal finally, and with a better quality. If you increase the number of labels, obviously the number of bits will be increases. But the audio and video quality will be much better than the previous one. So in this case, we observed here that 720 pixel, it will take 1 gigabytes of while we download that movie, it will take 1 gigabyte of memory, and this will take 500 megabytes of memory with the same duration. But here in this case, the quality of the video as well as audio will be much better than this case. So in order to so this is all about how the analog signal got converted into digital signal. We will discuss much how the circuit, about the circuits, and how the analog signal got converted into digital signal in a chapter called analog to digital converter and digital to analog converter. In that chapter, we will extensively discuss about this. That is your sampling theorem, quantization error, etc. So we have studied that the real signal is analog in nature. So first block will be, and that exists, for example, my voice signal, that is a voice signal or sound waves, that is a mechanical signal. But in order to convert it into digital signal, first we have to convert it into electrical signal, that is in the form of current or voltage. So how a voice signal got converted into current or voltage signal? Simply, we all have seen that we need a microphone. Obviously we need a microphone, that is our input transducer. That is our input. Let's say your microphone that convert your voice signal into electrical signal in the form of voltage or current. But this voltage or current is in the form of analog in nature, that is continuous in magnitude as well as in the time axis. Hence we need a to D converter. Here ADC stands for analog to digital converter, which converts it into multiple bits. Then we give that data into a processor or a digital system. So what is the digital system? We are using computer, which is a digital system, camera, digital camera. Obviously we are wearing watch, which is also digital in nature. So in this subject we are not going to discuss about computer, how to design a computer, camera or watch. Here this system is divided into subsystems, and then these subsystems divided into modules. After that these modules got divided into logic gates, and finally this logic gates is made up of transistor and diode, etc. Transistor, diode, resistor, etc. So in this subject we are going to discuss about these logic gates and how this logic gates is made up of from transistor and diodes and few modules. In higher semester we are going to discuss about in digital image processing, for example, a subject where we will study about this system. But in these basic subjects we will learn about the logic gates, the circuits, that is how these logic gates are implemented by using a transistors and diode, then few modules. So finally this digital system, what it will do, it will process the signal as per our requirement, and again we need a digital to analog converter. Why digital to analog converter? Because we want our analog signal back, because the sensor which God has given to us, that is eye, ear, that only understand analog signals. Hence we need, after processing, we need a digital to analog converter, which again converts back into analog signal, which is in the form of voltage and current. Then we need the output transducer. Output transducer, for example, loudspeaker. The input to the loudspeaker is obviously a current and voltage, but it will convert it again into sound wave. So obviously why we convert that signal into digital to analog converter? Because for example, if I say in the binary notation 1000010, suppose you are wearing a digital watch and the display shows 10000 and 0.10, then what is this time? So again we need to convert that binary code into decimal, so that we can get the what is the exact time. So obviously this 10000 is 8 point, this 10 is 8.2. Now we can get the value of the time. So this is the end of a basic introduction of the class. Then we will discuss about the advantages of digital system. Why we need to convert that analog signal into digital signal? There are various advantages. Digital signal are more immune to noise. That is, while in we will study about this in communication, that is analog communication and digital communication, where we will see that we have a transmitter, and that transmitter send the signal through a channel. The channel may be wired channel or wireless. Then we have a receiver. So obviously, when a signal got propagated from transmitter to receiver, and unwanted signal corrupt that message signal is known as noise. So in case of digital signal, in case of digital communication, we have a component known as regenerative repeater that we cannot use in case of analog communication. The regenerative repeater which we are using in digital communication, that removes the noise and again it generates the pulse. Hence its name is regenerative repeater. What its function? The digital signal we always transmit in the form of pulse, and this pulse is corrupt by noise. The function of regenerative repeater to again remove this noise and regenerate the pulse. So we again recover back our message signal in a smooth manner due to the presence of regenerative repeater in case of digital communication. Then second advantage is encryption. So what do you mean by encryption? Encryption means giving a encoding your message signal. And suppose we have a transmitter, we have a sender, and we have one sender and we have multiple receiver. So if this sender sends a message, and each receiver receiving that message, that is known as broadcasting. The example is your television. You all are receiver and your television, they are from a single transmitter, they broadcast, and we all are receiving that signal. That is known as broadcasting. Broadcasting means one to all. Broadcasting means one to all. But suppose I am a sender and I want my message which I am going to send is only received by receiver 2 and 3, not by receiver 2 and receiver 3, and not receiver 1 and receiver 4. Then how is it possible? For example, I am sending a message like digital. I encode it, each letter with increase in a order of +1. Suppose D +1, that is E, I, then J, M. So obviously the word digital now becomes EJHJUBM. So even though all the receivers are present, but if this sender which encodes this message with a particular key is not available to this receiver 1 and receiver 4, then even though they receive this message but unable to decode it, so that is known as encryption. That encryption is only possible in digital signal in order to provide security to our data. We are all using Gmail, WhatsApp, Zoom app, that needs encryption in order to provide network security or data security. Nowadays we are using end-to-end encryption. That we will study about this in details in a subject called network security. Then again the third advantage is digital signal transmit long distance as well as it needs less bandwidth. So these are all the advantages of digital signal. Hence we need to convert our analog signal into digital, and again finally after the processing of the signal as per our requirement, then again convert it back from digital signal to analog signal. Next we will study about Boolean algebra. First I will write the definition, then I will explain it why we are going to study Boolean algebra. What is the importance of it? So it is a set of rules used to simplify the logic expression without changing its functionality. See, here I am saying a logic. Here the keyword is logic expression. What do you mean by logic expression? And used to simplify the logic expression. And what is the advantages of simplifying the logic expression? So Boolean algebra, it is a set of rules. Actually, the scientist George Boole produced. He has given a set of rules to simplify the logic expression without changing its functionality. Then why we need a simplification of logic expression? Because when we design a circuit, if we are not minimizing that, we are not simplifying that variables, the number of variables will be more, hence we require more hardware to implement the function. But when we simplify that expression, then obviously the number of variables got reduced, hence the hardware required to implement that logic will be less. But the limitation of this Boolean algebra is we can use to minimize the number of variables, that if the function is made up of maximum up to 3 variables. Above 3 variables, if we have a function, then we don't use Boolean algebra. For that case, we use Karnaugh map. We will later study about K map. So, in order to explain this, what do you mean by logic expression? Let us have a practical example. What is the meaning of this logic expression? Please note it down that it is used when the number of variables are less, that is maximum up to 3 variables. Suppose you are going to market, but you have seen that it's raining, or we can forecast that after some time the rain will going to happen. So the question here is when to take umbrella. Obviously we are going to market, and if it is raining, then you take umbrella. So for so the statement will be given, and we have to design a logic. So in this case, when you will take a umbrella, so if it is raining, or you might observe that you might forecast that rain will be going to happen. So either rain or rain forecast, in that case you will take umbrella. Or for example, you have a car, so obviously you will take car if it is raining. So let us assume that this rain is variable A, the forecast of rain is variable B, and take a car is variable C. We will study about this after passing through NOT. It is known as C complement. We will study about this in the set of rules, that is, and here this prime indicates C complement, or it is also denoted by C bar. So what will be the expression? Either rain will happen, either or. So for the expression here, I am not adding A plus B. Here this is the logic expression, and this plus sign indicates either or, either rain or rain forecast. In both the case, we will take umbrella. And the second case is if you have car, then obviously we will take car and not the umbrella. Hence this will be the logic expression for the above case. We will solve more such type of question after having the knowledge of these rules. So let us let us discuss about the first rule, that is complement rule. First rule of Boolean algebra. The rule number 1, that is complement rule. So first we need to understand this from set theory, which you have studied in high school level. Suppose you have a universal set, that is, consider this universal set as your college. I am denoting this as C, and this set A represents the number of boys. So obviously the complement of A, what it indicates? This outside of the circle. This indicates the complement of A, which is nothing but number of girls in the college. So how we will implement this? By using Boolean algebra, and what is the symbol we use, and what will be the logic symbol, and how we will design it by using transistors. We will see one by one. The symbol for this complement is known as NOT gate. So if you give the input as A to this gate, will produce the output as A bar. That means if I give the number 1, that is the bit 1, it will produce output as 0. So the complement is denoted by A bar, or we can denote it by using A prime. So this is known as NOT gate. So for this NOT gate, the truth table is here. For this NOT gate, this NOT gate takes only one input, that is A, and produce A bar. So truth table for this. Here the output is Y. Output is always, we generally denote it by Y. So Y is equal to A bar. So what are the possibility of this variable A? This A can be 0 or 1. So if we give 0 to this gate, it will produce 1, and if we give the input as 1, it will produce output 0. So this is the basic symbol for complement, and this is the truth table for this complement. Then how we will design this logic gate, that is your NOT gate, by using a transistor. We will see that in the next class, how you will implement, how you will design practically on a printed circuit board by using a transistor this gate. We will see in the next class. So thank you.